This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The morgue at Princess Margaret Hospital is still over capacity as a result of families delaying the collection of loved ones. This much coming from PMH Hospital Administrator Mary Lightburn Walker while speaking with the press yesterday.
I can say from the perspective of the Princess Margaret Hospital, the morgue is in excess of its capacity. There are over 200 bodies in the morgue at this time. And we urge persons to make the necessary funeral arrangements for their loved ones because it is at capacity. I cannot speak to when and if the restrictions will be removed with respect to the burial of persons, but it is our urgent need that we address the overcrowding in the morgue.
This has been an ongoing problem since restrictions have been placed on funerals due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, funerals are only allowed to have 10 people present, excluding officiants. Back in September, Health Minister Renwick Wells announced that the PMH morgue was stretched to capacity during a Ministry of Health press conference. Additionally, Catherine Weish, Managing Director of the Public Hospitals Authority, said that the morgue has a capacity for 55 bodies, but at the time they were holding 4 times that amount. Health officials continue to urge Bahamians to pick up their loved ones to ease the burden on the healthcare system. A female Sandlands Rehabilitation Center patient has died after attempting suicide at the facility this past Sunday. The Public Hospitals Authority confirming as much in a press statement. The woman, according to PHA, tried to kill herself at the SRC and was subsequently transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital by ambulance. She was pronounced dead on arrival. The PHA did not identify the woman, only to say that she was 52 years old. This incident follows several suicide attempts in the country since the start of the pandemic. At least 2 attempts on Grand Bahama and an attempted suicide here on New Providence, which was prevented after concerned citizens rescued a man from his car after he drove off the Montague Beach ramp. Inquiries into the SRC matter continue. In news from the courts, 18-year-old Tavares Colbrook of Cool Acres was escorted into the magistrate's court to be formally charged with the murder of Robinson Paul, which occurred on November 5th. The matter was heard by Magistrate Samuel McKinney. According to police reports, it's alleged that on the day in question, around 10 a.m., a stabbing incident occurred in the area of Joe Farrington Road. Once officers arrived on the scene, they were informed that a group of males were at a residence when Colbrook, who was known to the group, walked in and produced a sharp object and stabbed Paul multiple times. The victim was transported to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Now, due to the nature of the crime, Colbrook was not allowed to enter a plea, and the Crown will serve him with a voluntary bill of indictment on February 12th next year. In the meantime, he has been remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. Samaritan's Purse, the non-profit international organization, is winding down operations at the Princess Margaret Hospital. In October, the NGO provided a 28-bed isolation and treatment unit for COVID-19 patients in an effort to increase patient capacity. PMH Hospital Administrator Mary Lightburn Walker addressed the media yesterday, expressing her gratitude.
We are here today to say a brief but very sincere thank you to our friends and partners from Samaritan's Purse, as they have concluded their outstanding work here with us at the Princess Margaret Hospital with the management of COVID-19 positive patients. The aid provided critical assets to us here in New Providence and the public health system, as we certainly had challenges with dealing with the second wave of our challenge. On Friday past, the last 2 patients were transferred from the COVID unit at the field hospital as a precaution due to the approach of the impending storm. The patients were placed on a dedicated COVID ward within the hospital to complete their treatment.
While the 7th Field Hospital may be taken down, Mrs. Walker says Samaritan's Purse has left a lasting impression on the staff at PMH.
A key element of Samaritan's Purse mission included training the clinical staff and, in cooperation with the Bahamas Ministry of Health, infection prevention and training for the national healthcare work providers. Well done. Indeed, it should be noted that more than 1,000 healthcare professionals received training in the proper IPC measures. This included virtual training as well and reached 36 local clinics and 26 family islands.
When Mrs. Walker was faced with questions about how PMH will hold up with the COVID-19 pandemic now that Samaritan's Purse is no longer an option, she assured that they have the proper facilities.
Within the Princess Margaret Hospital, we have a dedicated unit that can house the moderate to mild cases that can accommodate approximately 23 persons. We also have the legacy unit, which is just behind you, which can then take the more moderately ill persons, and that unit can handle 8 persons. The remainder of the persons in the accommodation for the critically ill is managed at Doctors Hospital West, and they have 22 beds at that facility.
The hospital administrator says that on behalf of the entire PMH family and the patients who benefited from this care, they are all thankful for the ongoing relationship with Samaritan's Purse. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.